Edson Alvarez is one of the best Mexican superstars in world football right now, and he's seen as one of the better defensive mids in Europe playing at the moment. Well, he is heavily linked to Manchester United and Ten Hag's squad for the upcoming season, and today we're going to find out how the Mexican star would do. Edson Alvarez, how would he do if he actually signed for Manchester United and made the move from West Ham to Manchester? That would be an interesting move and maybe exactly what Manchester United has been looking for. Now, as we look at this lineup for Manchester United, obviously this is probably going to change even more, but Alvarez is already in the lineup right beside that boy Mano. Now, we must talk about Casemiro. Manchester United went out and picked up Casemiro as one of the best defensive mids in the world at the time when they signed him, and they needed him because the defensive mid position is what everyone thinks Manchester United has been lacking and what would be the glue to them actually playing good football. It didn't really work out with Casemiro. As much of a star he is, it just didn't work out for whatever reason, and they're hoping that Edson Alvarez can be the glue that lets the attack, and the midfield defend and attack, and also the defenders to defend correctly, right? It's the defensive mid is one of the most important positions in world football. If you look at Rodri at Man City, I mean, when you have a good defensive mid, and then you look at Real Madrid with Tchouameni and so Camavinga can kind of play there, anytime you have a good defensive mid, you have a massive chance of winning competitions. Conte with Chelsea, Conte with France. It's just a big position. Sergio Busquets with Barcelona. I mean, the list goes on. Good defensive mids, good results. Now, the one very sad thing about the star Edson Alvarez is he just took a absolutely horrific, terrible, unlucky injury in Copa America 2024. The first game, the opener, he got hurt, and now they're saying they don't know if it's gonna mess up the move to Manchester United. It's just really unfortunate for the homie Alvarez. Hopefully the move still happens, but he did take a pretty bad injury that could change everything. But today, we are gonna find out what it would look like if Alvarez joined Manchester United and was able to do a whole season with them. Would he play every game? Would he get goals? Would he get assists? Would he help Manchester United end in the top 5, maybe in the top 3? Today we find out all those answers. One thing we must say as well, you can see Ten Hag is right there because we now know for sure he is going to remain the manager of Manchester United, which it makes a lot of people happy. A lot of Manchester United fans want him. They want stability. They want him to continue. I mean, he did win another trophy, 2 trophies in 2 years, so congratulations to him. But a lot of people wanted him to stay, and he's going to be staying. What we are going to do is find out what would happen. Now, this is the season that passed, so they obviously are going to be in the Champions League. They're not going to be in the Champions League for the upcoming season, but they will be in this sim. We're going to find out how they do. We will sim every month, look at his stats, see what he did, see if he did good things, bad things, whatever, and we'll go from there. But the first couple games for them is Wolves, Forest, and Spurs. They got 3 games in the month of August. Let's see if Alvarez gets good playing time. I'll see you at the end of August. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe, and let me know in the comments down below. Are you enjoying the Euro 2024 or Copa America 2024 more? What do you enjoy more? For me, I gotta say it's been the Euro. It's been really exciting and a lot of own goals. What? Manchester United has a pretty good start to the season. They beat Wolves 2-1. They lose to Spurs 3-2, but then they go ahead and destroy Forest 3-1 as well. So 3 games in the bag for hopefully Alvarez. Hopefully the game's actually starting him and playing him. But let's see if they did. Appearances. Alvarez picks up 3 appearances for Manchester United, picks up a goal and an assist in his 3 appearances. Anthony with a goal and assist, Bruno Fernandes with a goal and assist, and Marcus Rashford with 2 goals and an assist. We don't know if Marcus Rashford is going to be a Manchester United player by the end of the year, but he might be. Marcus Rashford leads the charge, but Alvarez, wow, congratulations to him. He is top 3 for goal scorers, and he's actually going to be in the top 3 for assists as well. So congratulations to Alvarez and his awesome start. He's averaging a 7.2 right now in the first month of the Premier League. Let's see what happens in the second month. In the second month, there's Arsenal, there's Brighton and Bayern. There's also Burnley, Crystal Palace, and they have a cup game at home as well that they hopefully pick up. It's the Energy Cup. So a really important month as they play their first Champions League game and a big game against Arsenal, who are obviously always contenders to win it all. I will let you know how that month goes in a second. I would like to say, based off of what I saw, that was a fantastic month of football for Manchester United. You might not believe me, but I'm telling you right now, something crazy happened. They lost 1 game, and that 1 loss was to Bayern, which is acceptable, I would imagine United fans would say. They beat Arsenal 3-2. They beat Burnley 3-0. They beat they beat Brighton 3-0. They beat Burnley 3-0. They win their cup game 2-0. They beat Crystal Palace 2-1. They only lost to a very good FC Bayern Munich 3-2. That is a phenomenal month of football for Ten Hag and Manchester United, and maybe the Manchester United supporters are right. Maybe a good defensive mid is all they've been lacking and slacking. Now, saying that kind of feels like we're putting some disrespect on my boy Casemiro's name. That is not what we're doing. I think Casemiro's one of the best ever. Now, with that being said, Alvarez has played 9 games for Manchester United, pretty much not missing one game this season. He is averaging an 8.0 in the Energy Cup. He's averaging a 7.16 in the Premier League, a 5.0 in the Champions League. That's not that good. And a total altogether, a 7.01 for him. That's his average ratings per game. Now, with that being said, he has picked up himself 2 goals. Not bad. He is in the top 6 for goal scorers for Manchester United. Has as much as Anthony, which is really saying something. And then with the assists here, we're going to go ahead and have him also in the top, 7. Only 1 assist. Lindelof with 2. Well, go on, Lindelof. He's getting playing time and doing his thing. Marcus Rashford having a heck of a season, bro. They might not even be there next season, but so far he's having a great season. But Alvarez in 9 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. I must say one thing, though. 4 clean sheets for Alvarez. And Manchester United fans know, like I know, if you're a defensive mid, you're helping that defense out massively. The fact that he has 4 clean sheets in 9 games, that's pretty solid, I would say, especially with 099 goal, because homeboy be making mistakes sometimes. Not bad from Alvarez, lads. Not a bad start for Manchester United, which leads them, actually, we got to check this out, okay? Because I feel like they would be close to top of the table with the way they start the season. Look at that. Tied with Man City on 18 points. Look, it'll all crumble from here, but what a start to the season for Manchester United. They are absolutely balling out. The only real loss was to Spurs. They got Galatasaray up next. They got the Bees. They also have Sheffield United, Manchester City, and also Copenhagen in the Champions League. So I will see you on October 31st to see how my boy Edson Alvarez is doing. Viva Mexico. I feel like besides the loss to the Bees, not a bad month. Look, they tied to Galatasaray, which, okay, in the Champions League, a loss and a tie is not good, but they did bounce back by beating Copenhagen, which means that at least they're on 4 points in the group so far. Losing to the Bees, a big win 2-0, and tying to City's not bad. Had they beat the Bees, they potentially could have been in first place in the Premier League. Going into November, there's going to be Chelsea, there's going to be Copenhagen again, Galatasaray, Everton, I always call them Lotion Town, my bad, and also Fulham. So some big games coming up in that month, if I'm being honest with y'all. And also, really quickly, before we go into that game, I want to see what they're doing in the Champions League. They're still in top 3, which is nice. 3 points off of City because they took that loss, and 1 point off of Liverpool. But you guys know what we're here for. We are here to check out one thing and one thing only. It is my boy Alvarez. How did he do in the month of, was that October, I believe it was? Hopefully I got that right. He's now played 14 games, still has not missed a game. He is absolutely going crazy. Still only 2 goals, still only 1 assist, and 5 clean sheets. So from the last time we spoke, there was 9 games. Now there's 14 games and only 1 clean sheet, though. So they've been getting suffered. They've been suffering a lot of goals, if I'm being honest with y'all. But that's okay. They're still 3 points from first place. And in the Champions League, I really think they could bounce back. So going into the month of November, it's a tough one. I'm going to see you on November 30th. And hopefully the boys can go crazy. They got Chelsea at a home game. Really tough game coming up. A really interesting month of November. They beat Chelsea 3-1. They beat Fulham 3-0, finally keeping a clean sheet again. They lose to Copenhagen, which means they're still only on 4 points in the Champions League. That's not good. They go and win another Premier League game 3-1, but they did suffer. They tied to Everton 2-2, and they beat Galatasaray 2-0. The problem is, did they leave it too late in the Champions League? They could be getting grouped in the Champions League. That's always a scary sign. We could check it out really quickly. They are still in the top 3, which I think United fans will be very happy about. Only a few points off of City. What's that? 2 points off of City, 1 point off of Everton. So the league is very open here. Very interesting for Manchester United. The Champions League is where, like I said, things would get tough. Copenhagen leading the charge with 9 points. Galatasaray with 5, which means United could actually get grouped and not even go to the Europa League, which happened in real life, I believe, right? And then Bayern is on 7 points. So Bayern not really having a good campaign. Here's the problem. Bayern United is the last game. Now, that's saying something because United would have to win to jump them. Wow. Wow. They left it late, lads. They got to beat Bayern to stay alive. And here's the thing. If Galatasaray beats Copenhagen, Manchester United is getting grouped and going home. Huge month here. They are going to play Bayern. They also have Newcastle, Chelsea. They have Liverpool, Man City in a cup game, which is wild. They have West Ham, where Alvarez came from. Aston Villa and Forest. The month of December is supposed to be a holiday fun season. I don't know if this is going to be a fun month for Ten Hag. We are about to find out. Let's see how it goes in December. The month of December, shaky. They beat Newcastle. They lose to Chelsea. They win a big game 4-1 back in the Premier League. They tie to Bayern, which means they're probably out of the Champions League. They beat Liverpool, which is really nice. They also knock Man City out of a cup. That is massive, massive. They then lose to West Ham and then lose to Aston Villa, but beat Forest. So a lot of bad results in the Premier League, but they did pick up another cup trophy, or I should say another cup, right? They picked up a big win in the cup. That's the words I'm looking for. It's now Manchester United versus Aston Villa, Liverpool versus Arsenal in the semifinals of the Energy Cup. In the Champions League, lads, unfortunately for Manchester United, they are going to go into the Europa League. Copenhagen's going to win the group, and they are going in on 8 points. And look at that, all three teams on 8 points. So they are going to the Europa League. That is not good news. The FA Cup, they are still alive as well. They're going to be playing Leicester City. But we must check out the one and only Premier League. Where are Manchester United at the moment? They have fallen out of the top 3. They are still in the top 4, though. 7 points away from Man City and just a few points off Chelsea and Spurs. So a very, very achievable third and second place, if you ask me. But we are here for Alvarez, so we must check how he has done so far. He has now picked up 28 games. He missed 1 game. He has 2 goals and 4 assists, with 7 clean sheets. So the clean sheets really slowed down for Manchester United during the middle of the season, not getting as many clean sheets. But when he is on the field, lads, as you guys can see, him and Varane keep clean sheets. When him and Varane both start, they have the most clean sheets in the team. They even have more clean sheets than Onana, which is crazy. I guess Onana got benched the game, and Alvarez picked up a clean sheet with the backup goalie. So that's very, very interesting. But we are on now to the month of January, where they'll play Leicester in the FA Cup. They will then play another cup against the semifinals of the Energy Cup against Aston Villa. They will then play Spurs, who is 3 points clear of them right now. If they beat them, they could jump to second place. They'll play Aston Villa in the second match, and then they'll play Wolves on the 30th of January, and then the transfer window will close. We're not making no moves because we are keeping this fully realistic, and the Alvarez signing is just a rumor. So also in the FA, we'll get to the Europa League in a minute. Let's get rid of the month of January first. A lot happened in the month of January. They beat Leicester, moving on to the final, I believe, of that was the FA Cup game. So they move on to the FA Cup. They then tied to Aston Villa, but then they tied to Spurs. So they're going to stay in probably the top 4. They then go and beat Aston Villa, advancing to the final of the Energy Cup. So they'll play Arsenal or Liverpool. They tied to Burnley, so I think there's going to be a second game in that cup. And they beat Wolves 3-0. They're going into the month of February against West Ham, a knockout game against Burnley for the FA Cup, Aston Villa, an FA Cup, a Europa League game, which honestly I think they should win, hopefully. They then play and then Arsenal in the Energy Cup final. So massive month coming up for Ten Hag as he could win his second Energy Cup. I believe his first season he won one. Alvarez now has only played 33 games, so missing another game. 9 clean sheets. Alvarez is officially the guy on the team with the most clean sheets, okay? 4 assists, 2 goals. When he plays, 3 goals, 4 assists. When he plays, there's clean sheets. He has a 6.92 in the Energy Cup. He has a 6.7 in the Premier League, a 6.32 in the Champions League, a 6.2 in the FA Cup, and the Europa League is coming up. We're going to see what kind of performance he puts in. But altogether, he has played 33 games, and he's averaging a 6.65 rating. Y'all let me know if you think that's good or bad. We are moving into a massive month, lads. It is the month of February for Ten Hag, Manchester United, and Alvarez. Let's see how they fare. A lot took place here. A big win against West Ham. Eliminated from the FA Cup against Burnley. Lose to Aston Villa in the league, win in the Champions League, the Europa League big time, moving on to the next round. Another Premier League win, a loss against Arsenal in the Energy Cup, which means silverware, very unlikely for Manchester United unless they win the Europa League. That's just pure facts. I'll quickly show you Alvarez's stats. A season that was fantastic, kind of turning. Alvarez has 11 clean sheets now, 5 goals, 5 assists, 4 goals in 40 games. Pretty darn well, if you ask me. His Europa League average now is a 7.0, so big ups for him in the Europa League. But lads, things got difficult for Manchester United. They are still in the top 5 with very, very, very close to top 3. All they have to do is pick up 4 points and get in front of Liverpool. All right, it's close. They can still make Champions League football. Let's be honest with each other. The FA Cup, they go ahead and go out in the 5th round as they lost. I believe it was the 5th round. Was it not the 5th round? It wasn't. It was the replay. Round 4. So it was the 4th round. They went out in the 4th round. They replayed the game because they tied. So they go out in the 4th round, unfortunately. In the Energy Cup, they make the final. It goes to Arsenal. Unfortunate for Manchester United. And they're still alive in the Europa League where they'll be facing Roma, a really tough task. I need you guys to look up to the top left. Ten Hag is close to getting fired. There is nothing I can do about that. I have no control in this. I am just letting it fly and seeing what happens. They got City, they got Roma, they got Everton, they got Fulham, they got the Bees. Tough March, very tough March. March and April and May. Will Ten Hag make it to the end of the season? We'll find out right here, but let's go ahead and see how March goes for Manchester United. Ten Hag's been sacked. Let me explain. This is so unfortunate, bro. This is so unfortunate. They beat Manchester City, so they got 3 points in the Premier League. They lost the first game to Roma, and they tied the second game to Roma, so they got eliminated from the Europa League, and they fired Ten Hag. This to me sucks so bad, dude. I just want to see how Alvarez would finish off. First of all, I just want to say this. This was not about Ten Hag. This was about Alvarez, and he was phenomenal. He had over 11 clean sheets for the team. He had 5 assists, 4 goals when we stopped. And I'm pretty sure the season would continue to be amazing for him. He was the most used player behind Bruno. He played 40 games last time we had checked. I think other players had 41. So he was used pretty much every game. He was very, very effective as his player rating was very good in most competitions. He had a crazy amount of assists and a crazy amount of goals. Now, I do want to say this. EA fires if you don't get certain amount of silverware for certain teams. I got to say this, man. A lot of Manchester United fans have said that the defensive mid problem is the problem, right? If they had a good defensive mid, that things would work out. Obviously, when Casemiro first got there, he was one of the best defensive mids in football. Age obviously happens, injuries happen, things happen, and that didn't really work out. But with Maino and Alvarez, I truly believe Manchester United is one of my favorite teams in England to watch. I love watching them. I do think this would be a great move for Manchester United. Ten Hag if he played a 4-2-3-1 system with Bruno at the cam position and the homie Maino and Alvarez in the defensive mid position, 2 younger players that have the legs, have the energy to run a full 90 minutes. It will allow Bruno, Garnacho, Anthony, Rashford if he's there, a lot of freedom to not have to defend as much. I truly believe the energy that Maino brings, the IQ he has with the energy Alvarez brings, and the ability to intercept for Alvarez, I think this will be a huge move for Manchester United. If they can't get Alvarez, I think they should go for Palinga. I know y'all might think I'm crazy, but Fulham's Palinga is fantastic defensive mid. I think they need a defensive mid. I think it would help a lot of their problems, and I think they would be able to create way more offensive plays if they could control midfields, and I think Alvarez could do that for them. Manchester United fans, as you guys can see, he was a stud before Ten Hag got sacked. He would be an amazing player for y'all, I believe. Hopefully his injury's not too crazy and he recovers from that good. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this, man. Alvarez to Manchester United, yes or no? Would you guys do it? I say yes. I love you guys. If you enjoyed it, big thumbs up, subscribe, turn your bell on. If you know any other rumors, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll sim in and see what they can do. Thank y'all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace. We out of here.